We've still got lots of heats to serve. This one is an absolute beauty. Italo Ferreira up against Kolohe Andino. Both these surfers throwing down some good airs earlier on. Not sure what the game plan's going to be for this heat, but we do have some waves to show you. Let's check out what went down during the break.
Well, Italo negotiating that outside chunk, hoping for some clean wall through the inside here. Just kind of trying to get through it. It is wonky. There's some clean face. That nice strong backhand snap, and then goes, attacks so quickly. Nice mix of maneuvers here. Wow, goes out, finds that little pocket, chucks some spray, and then goes vertical for a finish. So good start for Italo. And then behind him on the second wave of the set, what's he gonna do? Well, go to the air. Gets that pop. Now he's gonna work it through the inside and hope for some clean wall through Little Marley section. And I think he's looking for another air section. I mean, that's his intentions again. He's going to give it that tail whipping air reverse. So you watch this section here. Wasn't the most user-friendly section. That time goes completely around, landing backwards and reverses out. So 360-degree rotation with landing backwards, reverting out. Beautiful stuff there from Kolohe Andino.
So the score's in for the opening exchange. 6.33 for Italo. Andino gets himself a 5.83. Peter? But he generates plenty of spray and it still looks high impact.
It's really incredible because, you know, you do need space to create drive.
Well, here he is on a big bumpy set. Hasn't really been able to execute anything too special. The first turn was in the critical part of the wave, but with all that bump on the face, he wasn't really able to lay into it. He's obviously hoping that he gets a ramp on the inside. Just tagging, he's going to float this end section. Nice floating re-entry, loves the feel of it. .33 on his first wave. The backup will get him ahead of Kolohe.
That was a really tough wave to surf. A lot of it still got a lot of tide in the lineup, so those bigger set waves are going to be in that deeper water. Also, that's where all that chop is sitting. I mean, they really just had that kind of first section and then had to just kind of wait till the end section.
Well, check this out. This is some free surfing footage of Italo at home. So why a lot of the world's best come down here to snapper and try and wrestle waves off the crowd. He's at home, and he's like Joel Parkinson.
Take a look at this replay. Again, nice sizable set wave. And one of the things you can take for a positive in this wave, you got a nice strong turn. That very first turn was nice and strong here. Just a bunch of chop. At some point, he knows that it's going to get into that shallow water again and clean up. So he stays with it. And he ends up getting that really strong finish. Waits it out. His patience pays off here. And gets that float. Little power fist.
4.5 was the number, Pete. And then I put back in the second spot, looking for a 5.01 now.
Oh, here we go. You get to see it. A little smoother, it looked like. But thinking, you know, same kind of positioning on the bank that we saw from Italo. It didn't have that steep section through the mid part. Rather than waste all that time to go down there and find just one more section at the end, decides to kick out. We'll see if it pays off for him.
Here we go. Italo up once again, but Kolohe uses that priority. He's got some speed. Can he get to this section? That wave just stretched out. You can tell when Kolohe eyeing this one off, and he's going to go. Sorry, it's Italo taking off. Drives up into that first section. Used his priority on this one and gets tangled up on some bumps there. Well, we've got 16 minutes to go, and it's a good opportunity with a break here to have a look back at Italo's amazing 10-point ride from early on. And it had people scratching their heads. How high will the judges go with it? It's a long right-hand point break. He just used that one section, Pete. But the move, it was so high risk. He threw everything at it. And just the way he planted it, it was always going to be a large number.
And, you know, and with that, the whole debate continues. What is that considered? And I'm just going to say it straight. It's a 540-degree turn. You're in any kind of a half pipe or quarter pipe, and you're doing that type of rotation. Your board's spinning all the way around. He stomped that one. It's almost even more than 540 degrees.
Okay, well, just over 15 minutes to go. Italo, without priority, has tapped into a really nice running wall here, and he's just working it over. And a solid finish there on the inside.
That was huge.
Surfed it really well considering all that bump and chatter on the face. Where do you see this score going, Pete?
Well, you saw Kolohe paddle over the top, so they were kind of next to each other, so it was full-on like gift here. And this wave loaded up through that midsection. It was that right size where he had 3 solid sections there and a 4th. This is going to be a good wave. I think this is going to be the best wave of the heat. You take a look at the water angle here, and it didn't look like much on the outside, but this is where it kind of turns in, and that's when it's all choppy like that. It's really challenging to see that down the line. I think in a way, he probably rolled the dice, and it paid off because he obviously got that section there where he got 4 nice turns.
Here goes Andino now. Gets a chance to answer back, but loses it on the first turn. That wind sort of really kicked up a little in the last 5 minutes. Italo dealing with that tricky takeoff. Does well to climb up on that first section. Just very well suited to these tricky conditions. But he's going to let that one roll through. Andino up briefly as well. He's looking for more on the outside. One where he's not kind of standing around. This is where he lost priority before, that fall, Pete, on a wave that really hit the inside bank quite nicely.
And he got extended, you know, you can see that he kind of got up and over.
But this might be it. Again, loads up with speed. Careful not to catch a rail. The wall stands up. He wraps back to the source. This thing's starting to really stand up now on the bank. But he's still dealing with those lumps. And maybe his best option now is to go to the air. It looks like that's what he's thinking. And he has plenty of speed to use.
Oh!
And a huge attempt. He went all out. He wanted to turn that into a very big number. It was a hard landing. He looks to be okay though. Back on his board, paddling for the ski. Got completely inverted.
That was amazing, you know, and you could see it coming. He anticipated. There was almost 2 sections that he looked at and waited till that final one, which was actually a really nice section. It just wasn't an easy landing. Nice size set wave here. Would have loved to have been able to get another solid turn on the outside to really turn this wave into a good one. But you can just see it's just tough. There wasn't really any clean canvas. So good notice here that at this point he's like, you know what? I need to do something big. Loads up with a ton of speed, eyeing the perfect ramp. He gets it. Oh, and he's just love how much ground he covered or water he covers. Look at the ramp there. You can see it best from this angle. Gets the pop. You know, maybe a grab would have helped. I don't know, but that was so inverted. Everything was there. He landed just so hard that,
Quite often the surfers, when they adjust their feet, the nose will kind of catch that cascading lip and it'll kind of cushion that transition as they come down from that great height. But on that case,
no, that
kind of spat his board out, didn't it?
Yeah, it was.
To dig into some big moves with this wind and some of those steeper sections on the inside. Having a look at the recap, we'll see how Italo established the lead that he has, 12.8 total. And this was his 6.33.
Yeah, again, I think he is feeling very comfortable, very excited to be surfing here at Snapper Rocks. I mean, that inside section there, he rattled off some very strong moves. This was his first strong 6. He was able to find a backup. Kolohe's, this was that first exchange. We saw that air reverse, came in at 5.83. You know, and I think, again, doing that air reverse and having to adjust your feet, judges take note of that. Into the inside here, get some wraps. So nice, close first exchange. Difference really being that bigger set wave that we see from Italo Ferreira. But gosh, he just is so comfortable in these really, really hard conditions. I mean, look at that. He's so quick to see where that section is that he can just get there in half a second.
Felt like I was like bogging and catching, but I think that's just the shape of the face of the wave, so lumpy and bumpy. But yeah, I'm stoked I made it.
You went a little retro on us, Joel. You got a big score on a floater, but it was dynamic. It was something new that we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, I know. And probably on Adriano, I guess we call him the floater king from that one time in Brazil. But it was just, you know, as I said, it wasn't a lot of, like the wave face doesn't allow for too many other options. But
25 seconds, Andino having a look at this one. Needs a 6.97. Italo already on the beach watching this one unfold. Solid first turn. Up into the pocket once again. And now jamming down the line, another decent hit. So not the biggest wave of the heat, but certainly surfing it well. And not done just yet. Tidy finish. 6.97. The comparison will be made to the 6.47, the highest ride. Doesn't look like he's jumping out of his skin, does it?
No.
Well, the score came through, and it wasn't enough for Kolohe, so he's not going to match that amazing start to 2016. He's going to have to fight his way from here with a 9th place finish on the Gold Coast. Italo keeps the dream alive, and he will be taking on John Florence in the quarterfinals. We're going to take